What up guys, Miguel here of YugaTech, and Samsung debuted their latest iteration of their flagship phablet devices, the Galaxy Note series, last month. This year, Samsung actually birthed a couple of options for the ever-growing variety of users, or to, add some diversity in pricing options. Nonetheless, in this full review, we are focusing on the standard Galaxy Note. The Galaxy Note 10 has a 6.3-inch display that curves towards the edges of the phone. Found at the top of the display, dead in the center, we get a punch hole for the 10-megapixel front-facing camera. Right above it, we can find the earpiece, which is very discreetly hidden through a tiny gap in the ever so slightly present bezel. One thing a lot of people hate about this iteration of the Note series is the absence of the headphone jack. And I don't know what to tell you guys. They did include AKG-tuned Type-C earbuds in the box, but they didn't include a Type-C to 3.5mm audio jack in the box, which I found very disappointing. I don't know, I guess Samsung really wants you guys to buy them Galaxy Buds. Now, situated on the left side is the volume rocker and power button, so yup, no more dedicated Bixby button here. And because of this, I do feel like the buttons are ergonomically placed better, because with previous Samsung devices, the button placement would appear higher than where my fingers naturally rest. Up top, you can find the dual SIM card tray, and specifically for this device, you don't get any expandable storage options, which I know will disappoint a lot of users. Also found here is some sort of reflex port for the stereo speaker on top, which I found very interesting, and a mic for speakerphone. At the bottom, we have a USB Type-C port, the second stereo speaker, a microphone for regular calls, and this device wouldn't be a Note device without the addition of the S Pen, of course. More on that later. Lastly, at the back, we get a triple camera setup and an LED flash. Our Note 10 is in the Aura Glow color, and we absolutely love it. The back is protected with Gorilla Glass 6, and the way the glass back panel curves into the sides of the phone, just as the front, makes the overall device feel just as it looks. Premium. That isn't to say that this is still a fingerprint magnet. So, why don't you get yourself a ring key case and slap that on so to keep your phone smudge free. For the display, the Galaxy Note 10 sports a 6.3-inch Full HD Plus dynamic AMOLED panel with a resolution of 2280 by 1080 and a pixel density of 401 pixels per inch. Just like the glass back, the display is also protected with Corning Gorilla Glass 6 protection. Consuming media on this device is great despite the bump down in resolution we're normally used to on Note devices. Though hold up, to be fair, I really don't think that bump down in resolution would exactly affect the media consumption experience on this device, since I'm sure most AMOLED users with this capability tend to bump down to this resolution to save on battery life in the first place. And if it cuts the cost down, leading to an overall cheaper device, I don't super mind, I guess. But yes, media consumption on this device is great, especially with its nearly bezel-less design, vibrant and colorful display, and a panel you'll never have problems viewing under direct sunlight. Now, it does have stereo speakers, and I personally am a fan. They can get very loud for a phone. The separation is there, as well as that nifty Dolby Atmos feature, but I must mention that our current resident Note 10 user did find it annoying since when he consumed media on this thing, he found that the whole screen vibrates for the speaker is actually hidden under the display. For hardware, the Galaxy Note 10 in our local shores boasts Samsung's latest Exynos 9825 chipset coupled with a Mali G76 MP12 GPU. This phablet beauty is only available with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage. I want to mention again that we don't get any expandable storage on here, so if you desperately need expandable storage, the Galaxy Note 10 Non-Plus isn't for you. For software, users will be greeted with Android 9 Pie skinned with One UI on top. With this iteration of One UI, Samsung packs a lot of features that really take advantage of the processor and the screen real estate on this device. Fan favorite features like multi-window support, pop-up view, picture-in-picture, and a whole lot more productivity features coupled with the S Pen makes this phablet perfect for all your productivity needs. This device can handle graphically intensive gaming with no problems, and multitasking is also quite snappy as well. For those of you interested in our benchmark scores, having them flash on screen now. Now, this isn't a Note device without the S Pen. This iteration of the S Pen includes a gyro sensor, allowing users to use air gestures, which means if you were a Harry Potter fan, you should be screaming, because I'm pretty sure this feature will make you feel like a wizard. An example of this is being able to control your volume by flicking the S Pen up or down. You can use it for zooming in or out with your camera by waving the pen in a circular motion, and lots more. But the one thing I love about the S Pen is it's also a fidget toy. Kidding aside, this pen can get really useful when it comes to copying text off documents, signing contracts, and even taking notes. See what I did there? Because note. Moving over to security. For biometrics, the Galaxy Note 10 offers fingerprint and facial recognition. For the face unlock, it's a given that it isn't as secure as Face ID, as it is of the optical variety. But I do see most users comboing this with the ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner, since it can get pretty handy in situations where the scanner isn't recognizing your fingerprint. Speaking of that ultrasonic in-display scanner, it's the same one found on the S10 series, and it's about just as fast in my opinion. For battery, the Galaxy Note 10 is packing a 3,500 mAh battery with 25-watt fast charging support, and yes, the charging brick included in the box is already a 25-watt charger. In the PC Mark battery test, our unit got us a score of 9 hours and 28 minutes. In our standard video loop test, we got a total of 13 hours and 8 minutes of total playback. For cameras, the Galaxy Note 10 sports a triple camera setup that consists of a 12-megapixel main shooter with a variable aperture of f1.5 to 2.4, a 12-megapixel telephoto, and a 16-megapixel ultra-wide. And residing in that punch hole in front is a 10-megapixel sensor with an aperture of f2.2. In this iteration of the Note series, Samsung thought to bring portrait mode to a new level with live focus video. For those of you who don't know, live focus is what Samsung calls their portrait mode, and live focus video is essentially portrait mode but in video format. Unfortunately, it kind of feels just like a gimmick, as the edge detection isn't perfect at all. I mean, it's never even been that perfect for photos, so I'm really not that surprised. Moving on, image results from the Note 10 look spectacular, and they should be. It is an expensive phone after all. We got the usual Samsung post-processing here, giving us an overall natural color reproduction, bump in sharpness, great dynamic range, with just a tad bit more oomph in saturation. And having 3 focal lengths is always a treat. From the main sensor to the very useful ultra-wide, you don't get any more excuses to not take a photo. But as optimal lighting disappears, smartphone camera flaws start to appear. Though honestly, the Note 10 can handle it. Dynamic range stays true across all focal lengths, and with Samsung's night mode greatly improved here compared to the S10, low lighting conditions are definitely no sweat. I mean, just look at Arel's photo samples. Selfies also look stunning with great skin tones and just the right amount of sharpness. If you're a selfie monster, the Note 10's got you covered. Now for the price. Like I said earlier, the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 comes in a standard 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage. And it will set you back 53,990 pesos. Locally, it's only available in 2 colors, that's Aura Glow and Aura Black. So for around 4,000 pesos more, you get this over the standard S10. And I think it all comes down to, is that stylus worth it? And if it is, you should totally get this guy. Especially if you don't want to spend a little bit more for the bigger Plus variant. So, what did you guys think of the standard Galaxy Note 10? Let us know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Be sure to smack that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell icon so you get notified of future uploads, and be sure to visit YugaTech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Again, this has been Miguel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!